All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of City's Blood Podcast. I'm Phil DeSaro.
And I'm Alexis Darevko.
And today we're talking about a real-life rocket man. Apparently yesterday, which was October 14th, Wednesday, October 14th, a Air China airline coming into LAX spotted a man with a jetpack on. These pilots said that he'd actually cruised alongside him for a little bit and actually passed the plane. That is significant because the landing speed of a 747 is about 178 miles an hour. So the thing had to do at least 200 miles an hour in order to do that. This is not the first time it's happened, as my friend Alexis has made me aware that August 30th. There was actually two different airline pilots from two different flights, supposedly, or not supposedly, it identified another man who was flying a jetpack. The flight on August 30th was at 3,000 feet, and the flight yesterday was 6,000 feet. Now, before we make our guess as to what it is, let's rule out what it isn't. Because just technologically speaking, there are a few things that people have said on the news that it just can't be. One of which, I don't know if you've heard. Did you hear that one of the reporters on one of the stations I heard said they thought it could possibly be a drone because they didn't think it would be a man flying at that altitude or at that speed?
Yes.
Now, my problem with the drone theory is that I own a drone.
Very nice drone.
Very nice drone, thanks to my good friend Bruce Hanley. He's no longer with us, but is always with us in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, this drone that Bruce had bought does 45 miles an hour. That's pretty quick. I mean, it'll keep up with a car on an average side road. The fastest commercially available drone is only I think it set a world record at 168 miles an hour, not quite 170, which means it wouldn't be passing any airlines. It could possibly cruise next to, but it wouldn't pass. And on top of that, this drone is very small because these are race drones. So it's not that, it's not something this size. For an airline pilot to be able to see it and say this was a man flying in a suit, it had to be at least man size, right? We're talking about a 6-foot average guy kind of thing,
You'd probably get away with a jockey guy, but
even
least.
that, yeah. So a man-sized object flying, parallel to an airplane, cruising alongside of them and then passes them. It's not a commercially available drone. I'm going to put it that way. It could be a military drone because military drones, they have ones that'll do upwards of 700 miles an hour and maybe even faster that we don't know about. So we know it's not a civilian drone. It's most likely not a military drone because the American military would have no reason to be flying near LAX. Just in case anybody doesn't know this, it is a crime to fly anywhere near an airport unless you, let the FAA know about it and get an approved flight plan. You have to let them, and if you make any deviation from that plan, you have to radio back to tower and you have to get approval. Otherwise, you can run into an aircraft. There are a lot of airplanes, especially around an airport like LAX, one of the busiest ones in the country, if not the world. So what this person did, who did this, is extremely dangerous. Not only risk their own lives, but risk the lives of everybody in the planes that they encountered. So it's a crime, and the FBI is investigating, and whoever gets caught for it is going to be prosecuted. There's no way around this. That's it. That is if they catch them.
Here's my question on that though. What's the charge?
The charge? Oh, invading what do you call it? Controlled airspace.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a federal crime, and I can look.
Okay, now my second question is: I thought Tony Stark died.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood can bring anybody back to life, and this is L.A. So
and the air traffic controller did say only in LA.
Now I'm wondering if anybody is keeping an eye on was it Mann's Chinese Theater and the Hollywood Walk and all that, because there's a lot of people dressed up like Iron Man. They could easily land there and blend in with the crowd.
Yeah,
Way to disappear, because supposedly nobody has seen this thing land. Now, how do you not see something this large or hear this large land? I can tell you the drone I have, even with the stealth props that I put on it, you can hear it. And in something that's gas powered or jet turbine powered, this would clearly have to be to reach these speeds. You're going to hear it. Everybody's going to hear it. So how did it land without anybody seeing it?
I want to say it landed on another passing by aircraft.
Now that is some Hollywood shit. But this is Hollywood, so I don't understand the purpose of it unless
I've seen Mission Impossible a few times.
There's I haven't watched this thing. I see the ad for it, and I'm gonna have to make myself watch it. But it's like Billionaire Boys Club Dubai or something. And there are these. There are these billionaires that have nothing better to do than blow money on all sorts of crazy things. So this could be some type of elaborate, stunt, but the stunt happens to be a crime. If they were actually going for like a world record or something like that and had a pre-approved flight plan, they'd get all the publicity they needed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be on the news anyway. You couldn't do it over LAX, but it would be something that would be worthy of media attention. This is akin to UFO sightings because they haven't identified exactly what it is. Some people are still saying, no, it could be a drone made to look like a guy with a jetpack, which, I mean, anything's possible. But I'm just not leaning in that direction, especially after doing some research. So we know it's most likely not a military drone. It's definitely not a commercially available drone. It's not a what else did I have on there? There is a type of jetpack that they showed this guy from France or something that was like hovering over the water, 32 miles an hour, that kind of thing. It is not one of those jetpacks.
Like the water ones?
Yeah, well, not only the water ones, those are controlled, but there's actually a guy who does free flight, and they were calling him Iron Man. And I mean, he did do some maneuvers. I've even seen the Navy, I think, was doing some testing with this type of technology because you can board vessels with it. You think about it, you can get 12, 16 guys loaded up, fully armed and ready to rock and just leave your boat and just land on another boat at night. You can't, I mean, that's the shit. That is way better than jumping in a dinghy and trying to get up alongside of it and climb on board. And not to mention the shock and awe you have if, especially you're taking on these third world countries, which, the United States always does. You have, here's these flying men coming at you.
Right.
That's gonna leave an impression on people. But I'm gonna make my guess as to what it is, and what was the year of that video we just watched? Was that 2015? Is it that far back, or is it more like a 2017 video?
Let me look.
There's in Dubai. Everybody can Google this. You look up Jetman. Look up Jetman Dubai. This guy.
This is February of 2020.
Okay, so February of 2020. Wow, this is even more recent than I thought it was.
The title of the story is Iron Man dreams are closer to becoming a reality thanks to this new Jetman Dubai video.
Yeah, and if you watch the video, you'll see exactly what this. I mean, that is accurate right there. This really is Iron Man kind of stuff, except you're wearing a fixed wing on your back. Mm-hmm. Now, this fixed wing aircraft, unlike the other jetpacks, which I think have hit 32 miles an hour, some of them upwards of 80 something miles an hour, this particular one can do over 258 miles an hour, I believe.
And like for me, I think we're the same age. We're used to the Roger Moore, James Bond jetpack that was like silver, and it looked like
it's just a backpack.
Yeah, it looked like two upside down fire extinguishers.
Yeah,
basically that were silver. This was like literally a wing. A wing.
Fixed wing you become a fixed wing aircraft, but the thing's light enough for a man to carry it and walk around. And it's amazing the maneuverability that he has and the controllability. The
And
video
the speed when he takes
when
off
he
and he goes over Dubai,
well, yeah, when he
that's
guns it,
that's where I went, oh wow.
it's awesome. It's a cool video. Yeah, you have to watch it all the way through. Trust us on this one. It's not one you want to fast forward through because he's taking it easy at first, showing you what he can do as far as like moving it around, showing you that he has control of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then he lands and then he takes off, like my friend here just talked about. And when he does, it's like a jet taking off. It's just zip right off into the sky like Superman. And he hits 250 plus, miles an hour at 6,000 feet altitude. Well, that's my guess as to what it is, boys and girls, because I don't know if all these guys are saying the technology doesn't exist and we don't know. Well, we know that it exists in Dubai, and we know that people in Dubai have enough money to pay for these extravagances. And maybe one of them is just crazy enough to screw around in LA. Dangerous, stupid, but I think this is what it is. The only thing I don't have an answer for, and bring it up right now, at the end of that video, you're going to see him pull a parachute and parachute down. He doesn't land, and my guess is because he doesn't have enough fuel to land. Because you show him in the beginning kind of hovering. I mean, you're pushing up the weight of the human body plus that pack. I'm guessing it to be no more than 300 pounds. Still, that's 300 pounds that's keeping off the ground, right?
And that guy was fairly small too. I don't even think it was 300 pounds.
Okay. So let's say it was two. Let's say it was even 200. Still, you're keeping 200 pounds off the ground with something as small as this was. Um, you're using up a lot of energy and a lot of fuel just in the hover. Now, they may have actually cut before the hover and the land and the takeoff and refueled, but they don't show that. What they do show is the takeoff, and he zips straight up into the sky, hits about 6,000 feet, pops the parachute, and sails back down. And what that tells me is that when he hit that 250 miles an hour, I was about to go into kilometers, he expended all the fuel. I mean, jets suck up fuel. Anybody who doesn't know what a jet is or the way it works theoretically is think about holding a match here and taking a garden hose full of gasoline and spraying it against that match. That's literally what a jet is. That's a simple pulse jet turbine, but what happens is that flame will create a vacuum and start pulling air through the front of it. And as long as you have a fuel source and that flame going, once the initial vacuum is started, it's incredible the power you can get out of it. But like I said, it's a garden hose full of fuel. You're literally spraying gas into that. These fuel injectors aren't like in a car where it's, it's a constant hose. So with something as small as he had on his back, I can't imagine it holding more than 10 gallons. Could you think in that? 20?
If it was, I would say if it was 10 gallons, it was barely 10 gallons because
and plus you got to think of the weight of 10 gallons of fuel in addition to the rig. So it can't hold a lot of fuel. And so I believe he expended his fuel when he did that shot and landed with a parachute, which adds further to the mystery of what happened in LAX because nobody saw this person land. Two separate occasions. We have August 30th, and then we have just yesterday, October 14th, and nobody saw this guy land. If it were a parachute, people would see him. Especially LA. Even with the coronavirus lockdown, there's enough people on the streets or near the beaches or the water to where they would see him. My guess was thinking maybe he landed in the water, both times. Maybe they got a boat out there waiting for him. Maybe he's launching from the water, but I guess somebody would spot him from there too. And I'm not quite sure how close LAX is to the water. I'd have to look at the overhead map. I know LA is near the coast, but
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, it is a mystery. It's not. I don't believe it's alien beings, and I don't think it's the military doing anything stupid because they wouldn't risk commercial airlines. However, whoever is doing it is risking the lives of commercial airline passengers, and therefore could be deemed a terrorist threat. Now, I don't know if any idiot's going to try to like take out an aircraft with one of these things. They would kill themselves in the process. But
LAX is next to the water.
Is it? So
on it's hard to say, but like I don't know if I can even.
Yeah, it's not. It's unfortunately the webcam's just going to blot it out. But I can throw a map up on for the viewers if they're interested. It is near the water, and so some of those aircraft that are coming in, especially Air China, would be coming in from the ocean, right?
Right,
coming across the ocean. So maybe I'd like to know the exact like coordinates of where they were supposedly spotted if it was over water.
There's a video. There is actually a video.
Is there? Hold that up. Let me know what the link is if it's usable. Because that's the only explanation I would have. And again, we're here in Sacramento, so I have no idea how busy the waterways of Southern California are, especially like I said during coronavirus. But I imagine from everything I've been told and brought up to believe growing up, is that there's a lot of people with sailboats and shit in Southern California, or just having a good time out on the water. I mean, it's not like it's a deserted island or something you can hide behind, and nobody's going to see that parachute with a jetpack, careening down.
Another jetpack over LA, I think.
Yeah, that's today's story, or yesterday's story. The first one happened was Flight 1997, even though
it is. So the one I'm talking about, it says I'll send you the link, but it's jetpack was spotted again close to LAX International Airport, and then it's actually the flight plan on the video of where they're coming in from. Let me see here. Hold on.
I'm sure the FAA and the FBI are investigating this, trying to get exactly where. That way they can try to guesstimate where this thing could have came from.
So it's kind of hard to tell from like the video, but it looks like the Boeing 777 is, I'm going to say, northwest of LAX. Hard to say the mileage, and they're coming in but they're definitely coming in basically along the coastline, and
that's it. The encounter had to be near the water or over it.
Well, no, the encounter is they make the call, which again, this is not really, doesn't really show you. When you see the link, you'll see what I'm saying. It's just like a blue screen, and I think it's basically like whatever the tower is seeing.
Yeah.
But they're basically at, I'm going to say 13 miles north of LAX, northwest of LAX, when they make the call.
That's I mean, if LAX is 13 miles from the beach, then like I said, it could be. It's such a densely populated area that unless you have a guy, who has, some hidden bunker in the Hollywood Hills, and they do exist, and I could see maybe a takeoff, but even that, I think people would notice. I just can't see the landing. The landing, especially because of what I saw in that video, makes me believe that I don't think this person could take off, fly that high, cruise next to an airliner, pass one, and then go and land all on a tank of gas.
That's just watching one video. I don't think that could happen.
It's so the mystery is still there. If anybody else out there has any ideas on what it could be, or if anybody else out there happens to know who it is, tell
us. We won't rat them out.
We won't tell anybody. We promise.
We will do an interview with them. We'll even put the blue dot. Oh, they'll look like this.
Yeah. Oh, be perfect. Yeah.
There we go.
That would be perfect. So that's all we got for tonight.
We just want the exclusive interview.
Exactly. Yeah. There was another story we were going to talk about, which was what Scott Peterson.
Oh, Scotty boy.
He's getting another chance at freedom, possibly, but I don't think it's going to work out for him. I'm just making a guess, but I don't think. Apparently, there was a problem with one of the jurors. Is that what you read?
Yeah, it's the jury.
Yeah, it was just one juror, from what I read. Was it more than one that you?
No, yeah, it's a juror. Sorry, I said jury. Juror.
This juror failed to disclose that someone in their family had been murdered. Is that the case? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the entire reason why Scott's gonna get a new case, because because that person failed to disclose that their family member had been murdered, and that could have affected their leaning, and their decision in the court case. That's just one person. So I don't, but then again, it only takes one person to hang a jury, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the law in the United States. They're going to go through another process. It's going to be another, a couple $1 million to the taxpayers to have to go through this garbage again. But ultimately, I can't see him being found anything but guilty all over again.
David Kolchak's theory is going to work out for Scott Peterson. Yeah, that's my prediction.
Our friend David Kolchak, crime writer and historian here in Sacramento, had a theory that, and this might not be his. I'm not sure where he got it. But he said
it was from somebody else.
So we don't want to,
You should dig up that clip of him explaining that and post it.
Oh God, I gotta find that. See what episode that was on. But
it was probably the first one we all three did together.
Yeah, the theory, just to get to it already for everybody who's screaming at us saying just spit it out, is that Scott, like, if anybody's ever seen that Ozark TV show, it's almost a similar situation to that, where Scott was somehow involved with the cartel, and basically instead of killing Scott, they decided to punish him in a worse way by killing his wife and unborn child and sending him to jail for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think the cartel would have killed his wife and his unborn kid, but they would have killed him too, and the dog, and they might have burned his house down. So I'm not so sure I have much faith in that theory. I still think Scott killed his wife. I feel a little bit bad for Amber Fry, who's going to be dragged out into the media again. Everybody's going to want to be interviewing her. As soon as this shit makes another trial, there, all the stupid talk shows, and with the women gathering around them, I got to cut that out to alienate my own audience. But those View type shows, they're going to be on that, and they're going to want to invite her out. And if she wants the money, she's going to be hounded anyway. So if she can at least get paid for an interview, I say go for it, get paid.
Hey, scales $9.50 now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So make it worth your while. And because it wasn't her fault. She had nothing to do with the murder. This slimy piece of shit was just screwing around on his wife, and then his pregnant wife, like 9-month pregnant wife, near the holidays too. Like, everything about this is awful. Wasn't it near Christmas? It was getting close to the holiday. Yeah.
She came up missing. It was either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Was it?
Oh. Yeah, that's when she went to go walk the dog.
Everything about that story was just absolutely awful. And and what else I thought was interesting, that it's related, but it's not really related, is that I don't know why I'm trying to. Dean Cain played him in some made-for-TV movie, something, right, or something like that.
Yep, December 24th, 2002.
Christmas Eve. How freaking awful! You thought the Grinch was bad. This guy, what a piece of. So yeah, that's the latest story for the latest news on the Scott Peterson retrial. That's probably going to happen because one juror failed to disclose that information. I don't know why it took this long for this to come out.
To figure it out.
Yeah, it's interesting that it just because it's been like 17 years. Is that right?
Probably since his conviction, because I mean,
you just said the date. What was the date?
2002 is when Lacey died.
Oh, two. Well, I'm just let's just go from there.
Yeah,
That's
so 18 years.
Yeah, so 18 years.
Well, it'll be 18 years this December.
If Scott had been a decent human being, he and Lacey would be looking at colleges for their child.
Yeah.
Right now, we're looking for online schools in the COVID thing, but my point is they'd be doing normal shit, and they'd have an 18-year-old human being, that was, would probably look just like him because it was his son, wasn't it? Wasn't it a boy?
Yeah.
Just absolutely reprehensible. There's nothing redeeming about Scott Peterson, and whatever. If that's our system and he deserves a retrial according to that, then let's go with our system. But I have faith in our system. We'll send him, or we'll keep him in jail. That's all I got.
The kid's name was going to be Connor.
What a shame. What a sin. Terrible, terrible story. It doesn't get any more bleak or tragic than that. And he's getting a second chance, although, like I said, I don't think it's going to amount to much. Yeah. Well, that's about all I got for tonight.
And just so you add to just the end, it was, man, they didn't wait. 2004, the USA Network aired The Perfect Husband, the Lacey Peterson story.
The USA Network.
Yep.
Now, I'm a never has been, so instead of a has been, I'm a never has been. So I'm nobody to talk, but Jesus, Superman, what were you thinking? The USA Network? I mean, I could see it was like, you know what? I could look like him if I did my hair red and this other. Yeah, you could. If Hollywood were calling you, but the USA Network?
Hey, man, that is home to Monday Night Raw and the home of silk stockings from back in the day.
Yeah, and that alone should tell you, Scott, what the hell's his name? Dean Cain. That you should have steered clear of. The only way you ever want to end up on the USA Network is as a rerun at 11 o'clock at night on Night Flight or something, that they don't play anymore. But yeah, I do remember that. And yeah, anyways, that's all I have to say about the Scott Peterson thing. I think the jetpack thing is a really interesting story, and I'll be curious to see if anybody's ever caught for this, because if they're smart, they'll disappear and just never do it again. If they want to be real tricksters, go across the country and try it in Louisiana next, or New Orleans or New York or Miami.
See, I was going to say Houston. Go to Dallas.
I think I don't know if they go to Houston and somebody does see them land, they might start shooting at them.
That's true.
That's
it's them terrorists.
Yeah, Miami's right on the water. Yeah, Miami International.
Well, so's Houston.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a port city.
So yeah, that's we'll see if anybody gets caught for that. If they do get caught, they're going to get prosecuted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They'll prosecute people with drones for doing that. They prosecute people for shining laser beams into pilots' eyes and stuff like that from the ground. They go after them. So the FAA does not screw around.
I'm actually just trying to make sure that I was right about Houston.
I believe I know Corpus Christi near the water.
It's just as close to the water as LAX is, at least on this map.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they buzz another city, but I think if they were smart, they'd it's made the news now. It's made national news, and so people are going to be on the lookout, especially around LA.
Oh yeah.
And that town has more cameras than any other town in our country. as far as like the TMZ network and all these guys in cars that are, I mean, the average person has a cell phone anyway, right? And which is now a camera. But on top of that, you're talking about the most media saturated city in America. Where everybody from the tourists, to the people with their cell phones, to the TMZ guys, to people who are chasing ambulances and listening to the news, thing, and trying to sell footage. I forget what they call those guys, but they made movies about that thing. There's a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal about it. They chase accidents. They listen to the police scanners. They hear an accident. They try to get there first to get the best footage to sell it to a network. So, I'm sure that these chasers or whatever they're called are probably just salivating at the thought of getting some footage of this, because whatever network airs that footage first, they're going to pay big money for it.
Oh yeah, it'll be great. I mean, as cool as it is, fucking take your jetpack, like Phil said, go to fucking Miami or Orlando or somewhere on the other side of the country where they probably know about this, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Do it there, then go hide.
Yeah. Or, or if you don't want to do it illegally anymore, go to the other side of the country and now, register a flight plan for something and make a media event about it legally and disavow any knowledge of this shit that happened here in LA, because I'm telling you, somebody's going to go to jail for this.
Oh yeah.
It's, it amazes me that somebody intelligent enough, with enough money and resources to be able to pull the stunt off, doesn't realize the severity of the crime they committed.
Yeah, and it's like, man, you guys are killing me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they got enough money, or maybe it's the Dubai Millionaires Club and they've got diplomatic immunity. Who knows?
That could be a thing.
If we do find out, we will have another episode on it.
Yes. Jetpack City, baby.
Awesome. All right, brother. I think
all right.
We'll call it a night. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time on City's Blood Podcast.
Peace.